What's happening, sports fans? We got another great top recruit interview for you. We've moved into the winter sports, and that means soccer players are here. And look, I'll say this. There's a lot of times that you get humbled as a former athlete, like when you start kind of branching out into sports that you didn't play. But soccer keeps reminding me that I was not in good shape ever in my life, and that a lot of these people are really, truly, actually like great athletes because they can run and run and run and run and run all game long, 90 minutes plus, and still have time for like great, bursts of energy to create these finesse. Like soccer players are just fantastic. They're also really fun to talk to. Stella Comana from OLP is with us. She's wearing her Stetson gear. If you don't mind holding that up a little bit, I don't remember the mascot. Oh, it's an S there. I didn't know if that was going to be the Stetson mascot. Stella, thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk about OLP soccer, but before we get any further, congrats on Stetson. Tell us, what was that decision like for you? What ultimately made it for you?
Thank you. I think for me, I had the opportunity to go and visit a lot of other schools. I had a couple other offers, and I think when I got to Stetson, it just felt like this is where I wanted to be. I loved the coaching staff. I loved the girls. The campus was beautiful, and even my sister plays there now, and I think that was also a big part of my decision because I'm really close with her, and I think being able, not a lot of people can say that they played a D1 sport with their sister. So,
Well, this sounds kind of like an inside job then, and that really no other university had a chance. Was Stetson the first one, and then you went through the whole process and came back to it, or was it kind of always the leading candidate? Because that sounds, like you said, pretty that's a pretty awesome opportunity to say you can play college soccer with your sister.
yeah. I honestly, it wasn't my first choice. It was kind of like a last minute thing. It was in summer and I had gone on like to a bunch of places to visit like all my other offers. And then I like told Stetson I would be out there and they're like, hey, like come and see us and we'll have a chat with you. So
So I'm always curious to ask people that have gone through the process or now signed and done, what would maybe be some advice that you would give to younger student athletes, eighth graders, juniors, anyone in that range that's in the recruiting process or getting just started with it? Now that you've finished, what is maybe some advice you would give?
I'd say definitely send your emails and stay on top of communications. Like, if you're really interested in a school, it's really important that you show that. So, sending your emails and like letting them know that you're interested is important.
Let's focus now on OLP season. You guys right now, as of us recording this, people will watch this throughout the whole season, but you are 3-2-1, which is, I love soccer when you can have a nice even countdown with the ties included there. Are you happy with the season? Is there a ton of room to grow? Hit me with some sort of sports cliche as to how you guys are feeling out the gate this year.
Yeah, so I think last year, of course, we lost a lot of good talent, a couple recruits too, but I think I'm really happy with, what we got this year. And it's the beginning of the season, and as you saw, like, we've got some wins, some losses, some ties, but I think we're in a good spot right now. But of course, there's always room to grow, but I'm really excited for what the season has to come.
You mentioned a lot of turnover this year with graduation. I'm always curious because everybody obviously wants to have their moment in the sun, their senior year, they're in the spotlight and everything. But what has it been like in terms of shaping you as a player, being around so much talent at OLP? It feels like the last 3 or 4 years, basically your entire high school career, you guys have been like a semifinalist or finalist type team. You guys have been really competitive, had a lot of great talent that has gone on to, if I'm remembering correctly, Gonzaga and a couple of other schools that you guys have like that's actually, to me, it seems like a great advantage to play around talent like that. How has that shaped you a little bit as a soccer player?
No, yeah, for sure. And I think it's really just giving me the opportunity to be able to see the game through like different lenses. And especially since I've been on this team since freshman year, I've been with so many different players and so many like, styles of play. And I think it's really been like allowed me to just take it all in and see the game from a completely different perspective.
All right, so I'm looking up and down at the schedule right now. Next couple of games, you guys got Steel Canyon, Helix, Point Loma, Patrick Henry. Beyond that, you guys can find it online. There's plenty of spots. You guys can figure it out. You're all smart. We're all also contractually obligated to say, download the SB Live Sports app to follow that. But I'm always curious to learn because A, they're changing all the time, but also B, you never know until you ask one of the players, who's the rival right now? who is the team that is still on this schedule that you guys are either as a franchise or as a program you're rivals with, or that you personally just have like, I'm kind of low key out for blood that night?
You know, I would have said Cathedral, but because we don't play them this year, I honestly might say Point Loma, just because I feel like we're very like tied with talent. Since my freshman year, the games have always been so close. It's either tying or losing by one or winning by one. So I'm really, really out for that Point Loma game.
So then that's coming up pretty soon. That'll
Yeah.
be the January 4th game that you guys got. So the perfect way to start the new year with
Yeah.
going out there for the opportunity to get out your big rival. All, like I said, all of the schedule information you guys can find. Make sure you go check out OLP at some point this year. They're geared up and ready for a great year. For you guys as a team, what is left to do this year? Obviously, that's kind of an open-ended question, but what are you focusing on in terms of who are some of the players that you guys are trying to really, some of the younger girls maybe that you're trying to get going to, grow into themselves, or just some of what you guys think that, hey, if we click on this, we can be a really good soccer team this year?
I think one of the big things for me and the coaches and, all the players this year is team chemistry. We feel like, having a good relationship on the field is just as important as having a good relationship off the field. So I think if we really, nail down the team chemistry this year, we're going to have a great season because that just enables all the players to work together better.
So what's required for good team chemistry? Because that could mean anything from like actually on-field leadership to just also you guys, all have a similar For You page on TikTok that you can share. Like, I don't know what it
Yeah.
is anymore these days to have good team chemistry. So for you guys, what is that going to mean? And how do you think maybe yourself as a senior is going to help get that done?
I definitely good communication, obviously, but I also think it's about, doing things outside of school, not even like soccer related. Because yes, like soccer is a sport that we play, but having like a team dinner, go playing something random. Like I think it's just learning each other's personalities and knowing like what each other like what we like and just adapting to that.
I feel like a big part of it is also the pregame and or practice playlist vibes. And I
Yeah.
see you nodding right there. Can you give us a sample of what is on the team's playlist this year?
We're in the process of making a playlist right now of like everyone's favorite songs. It's really a big mix of everything. I'd say there's a few Rihanna songs on there, but lots of different stuff.
Well, then can you give us a little, like, you don't have to necessarily pair it to a specific person suggesting it, but what are some of the examples? If you're saying it's a diverse playlist, can you give us a couple of songs that are on there?
A, a big one is just the big one is S&M by Rihanna, and then we've also got a couple Pitbull songs on there. So
Mr.
just
Worldwide, absolutely.
yeah,
Gotta go
yeah,
with Mr. Worldwide. That's great energy. That's great energy. Well, hey, look, it seems like you guys have the path set for this year as to how you want to get it done. You have the teams that you want to face, and look, we're saying to everybody, go check out OLP as one of the great options you have for the rest of this San Diego high school season. Stella, thank you so much for being on with us. Congratulations on Stetson. We look forward to supporting you both this year and the rest of your college career. Playing with your sister, that's got to be an absolutely special opportunity. Thank you so
yeah.
much for being on with the show.
Thank
And
you.
is it Go Pointers or not Pointer? Go. Sorry, that's a horrible slip. Is it Go Pilots, or what is the OLP saying?
Yeah, it's Go Pilots.
All right. Thank you very much for being on with us, and Go Pilots.